So I watched this video from this creator. It was actually a tarot reader who does collective readings, and she's fully tapped in and gives really good insight when she does her readings on the collective. And basically, one of the explanations that she said was that we all start off on our abundant timeline. And what happens is that through the trauma that we experience through our childhood and our environments and people, places, and things that impact us. So from 3 years old, it takes us farther away from our timeline based on the trauma that we experience and the decisions that we make after that, how we act from a place of shadow instead of our most authentic self, making good decisions that keep us on that abundant timeline. So let's say we're using substances, we're picking toxic partners because we haven't dealt with our emotions and regulated them and balanced them out, so we keep attracting the same type of person, and all of these things happen, and we're like on the other side of our timeline. We're completely far from it, and what happens is that usually we make the decision to get out of those toxic situations and change our lives. So we first make the decision to leave that toxic situation and want better to ourselves. But it's not until we meet our divine counterpart who's experiencing usually the same things that we are, but both people are in an unhealed place, so they end up triggering each other, and it's usually a short-lived romance, and that usually ends because the two people are not healed, and the universe basically takes them away from each other. But that relationship usually triggers in each other a spiritual awakening. So especially for the feminine, is that the feminine will go through losing everything and going through complete isolation, taking away all the things that were not on our abundant timeline, removing substances, cleaning up her diet, making good choices, all of these things that get her back onto her abundant timeline. So it basically triggers them both to go through a dark night of the soul. However, the masculine is usually like 6 to 9 months behind the feminine on her journey, and every decision that each of them make affect each other because they're still connected through red threads, right, in the spiritual realm, in the 4D. So each time that one person chooses to deviate from their path, then the other person feels that magnetic pull to deviate as well. Yeah, so if the masculine deviates from his path of healing, then the feminine will feel that magnetic pull to deviate in some other way. They're not necessarily healing from the same traumas, but they do marry each other in a lot of ways. And even when they meet, they have similar things that they've been through, whether they're relationships, they just came out of long-term relationships, or childhood trauma, they have things that they experience that are similar to each other. So if the feminine wants to help the masculine heal, she has to stay on her path, because if she deviates, then it pulls him to make decisions that take him away from his abundant timeline. But the feminine is choosing to do it for herself. Like, she's choosing not to deviate. She's choosing to stay on that path because she wants that abundant timeline. She goes on the path of fulfilling her passions and working on her passions because so many other things pulled her out of that, and now she's staying on track.